There is no greater challenge in sports than competing in an Ironman triathlon. A 2.4-mile swim, 112-mile bike, and a 26.2-mile marathon. The majority of athletes that choose to undertake these monumental competitions are not professionals. They are age group athletes. They come from every corner of the globe and every walk of life. The Ironman World Championship in Kona, Hawaii. This is where the sport was born. Athletes can't just sign up and compete. They must earn a spot at one of a handful of qualifying events held around the world.
You are an Ironman!
A select cast of age group athletes has been chosen to share their journey to Kona. From early training all the way through their qualifying race, they will attempt to get to the World Championship on the Big Island of Hawaii. Some will make their Kona dream come true, and some will not. This is the story of commitment.
This is my quest for Kona.
Perseverance.
This is my quest for Kona.
Pain.
This is my quest for Kona.
Passion.
This is my quest for Kona.
And joy that these athletes share.
This is my quest for Kona.
In their quest for Kona.
Welcome to Ironman Santa Rosa, everyone, the inaugural race here.
Race morning is exciting. It's kind of like Christmas morning in some ways. It's like, oh, it's here. It's finally time. I'm hoping at Santa Rosa that I can qualify for Kona, but I will be honest, I don't know. It depends on the way the cards fall on race day.
There are over 70 athletes in Heather's age group. She must place in the top 2 to qualify for a world championship spot.
So to go to Kona, you can't just sign up for the race, you have to qualify. And you have to essentially win your age division in a qualifying race. You have to be faster than most everybody that day. I've seen many friends compete and maybe race a 10-hour Ironman or a sub-10 hour, something very fast, and they still have not qualified for Kona because their age group was so intense that day and the competition was fierce. So I hope that I can have a good day and deliver a great race because it's something that you put so much work into, and so when all of the nerves and the not a lot of sleep, it doesn't really matter at that point because you are going to race. You're going to race this race that you have put in so many hours into. My name is Heather Jensen. I live in Vineyard, Utah.
Hey guys, dinner's almost ready.
I am a mom for a living.
Show me. Oh yeah, buddy.
My immediate family is my husband, Trevor, and my 3 kids. Emma is my oldest, Austin is 6, and Andrew is my 3-year-old. Being a mom and being an Ironman are 2 very different hats that actually go together in my life.
Love you.
Moms are the best at juggling many things, and so I think that's why triathlon and Ironman fits my personality very well, because I have 3 kids with all different personalities, just like a swim, bike, run. Some days are waking up at 4:30 in the morning and really training hard for several hours. When I was growing up, I did swim team at 4:30 in the morning when I was a teenager, and we did that a few days a week, and I think I just go into go mode in the morning. I just get myself ready and I just go. For me, I definitely put in a lot of effort in my training, and I want to see that pay out. I want to see that ticket punch to Kona. I want that. So I've trained really hard for this, and I want to have my efforts pay off on race day. Sometimes being an Ironman and a mom means that you sacrifice showering for maybe an hour or 2, which is kind of gross. But if you are gonna fit in your training and get your daughter ready for dance, she's gotta come first before my shower. So definitely a balancing act.
Okay.
Heather has struck that balance. and has now completed 3 Ironman 70.3s, and last year completed her first full Ironman at Ironman Vineman.
Becoming an Ironman was a huge goal of mine. I wanted to become a 140.6 finisher and be an Ironman. But the ultimate goal is always, can I get to Kona?
Heather's passion for Ironman started just over 4 years ago in an unexpected way.
When I was pregnant with my 3rd baby, my husband and I had an awesome opportunity to go to Kona for a trip. And I was still a little bit newer into the idea of Ironman at this point in my life. We were flying with some of his work colleagues on this helicopter, and one of the areas they took us over was the Kona bike course.
And she's staring down at the highway, and I'm kind of, interacting with what's going on. She goes, "That's Kona," and that's where they have the Ironman Championship.
And then I said, "I'm gonna do that someday." And he looked at me and was like, "Okay."
At the time, it's kind of, that's great.
And they're looking at me there with my giant belly, probably a good 7.5 months pregnant. They were kind, but they thought I was acting a little crazy. It was kind of this aha moment in my mind, and it was like, oh, there it is, and you could do that if you really wanted to. If you work hard enough, you can do that.
But after that inspirational helicopter ride and the birth of her 3rd son, Andrew, Heather found herself in a tough spot.
When I had my 3rd baby, I was really struggling taking care of my 3 kids from a mental standpoint. I was fighting every day to kind of stay afloat. I felt like I was drowning every day. For me, it was taking the happy, positive person I was, and it was pushing that person away to somebody that I didn't recognize. And I was frustrated because I was trying to fight back and trying to get out of this. And it wasn't working. Everything I was doing wasn't working. I had postpartum depression really bad, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know why I was feeling that way, because I had every reason in the world to be happy, and I wasn't happy. It's hard to think back on how difficult it was, because it was really hard, and it's something that I have a hard time sharing, because I hate being vulnerable like that and sharing that, but I know that other people have felt that way. I turned to exercise. Exercise was such a big thing for me, and I don't know how I would have made it through without it. And so I signed up for my first Ironman event. I signed up for the St. George 70.3. It was something that if I could focus on this goal, that I was able to get through it, and I was able to pull out. Ironman kind of became my antidepressant, kind of became that goal and that reason to latch onto something and to strive for better. Ironman brings me joy, and I couldn't imagine not having it be part of my life.
Quest for Kona is presented by Cliff, the official sports nutrition partner of the Ironman North American Series.
Kona is such an incredible event because for an Ironman, it means that you are the tip top and you have earned that spot. And it's so difficult to qualify for Kona. It's not like trying to qualify for the Boston Marathon where you need a specific time. You have to essentially get first or second in your age group and have an amazing race. It takes a lot of effort to qualify for Kona, and speed. You have to be faster than most everybody that day. And that's the biggest thing in this sport, is it really is quite a gamble.
The moment Heather arrives in Santa Rosa, preparations for her race begin, laying everything out and checking gear, race nutrition, run and bike bags, pre-race meals and snacks are just the tip of the Ironman iceberg. Thankfully, Heather has help.
Trevor is 1 in a million. He is unbelievable. He's supportive, he's caring, and he's one of those people that you go, do they really exist? And he does. He's been my rock through everything. And so, yeah, I couldn't imagine doing an Ironman without Trevor by my side.
I try to support her and to be happy about it and to realize this is what she wants to do, and I get an opportunity to watch that joy radiate. She's amazing.
For Heather's dreams of Kona to come true, she must be one of the top athletes in her age group at Santa Rosa. But before she gets to that start line, she has to make sure all the pieces are in place.
All right, Heather, have a great race.
Thanks so much. Traveling to a race location for Ironman is crazy. It's not just like showing up at any other maybe running race and just grabbing your bib the night before. You have to get to a full Ironman course 2, 3, even sometimes 4 days before. You have to get your timing chip. You need to check your bike in. You need to check your run gear in. There we go.
Thank you, good luck.
There's a lot of work that goes into arriving and preparing for the actual race.
Okay, so I'm all checked in.
Okay.
Signed my waivers.
Yep.
Got my bag, got my gear bags, and got my backpack, my cool backpack.
Now that she's all checked in, it's just a matter of waiting.
Race morning is exciting. It's something that you put so much work into, and so when you finally wake up and it's the day, it kind of jolts your system and you get that adrenaline rush that really gets you excited. A little bit crazy getting into the start area and making sure you know where you're going because you don't want to be late. And then it's a little bit of chaos as people are putting their wetsuits on and pulling them down and getting their bodies marked and making sure that that is all ready, that you're ready and prepped. So yeah, it's a little bit chaotic at the beginning.
Good morning, athletes down here at the swim start. Welcome.
I have to wait for my turn to get into the water, and I just get excited once I hear that gun go off. It's kind of that feeling of I'm going down a roller coaster. It's that drop down of the roller coaster where everything's excited and you're ready to go.
What an incredible start.
I love the swim so much that I get excited to get into the water. If we were starting on the bike, I would be a ball on the floor, crumpled up, scared to death. But with the swim, I love the swim. I feel comfortable in the water and I get excited to go.
Heather is a swimmer. It's natural to her. She has the ability to get in the pool and grind it out. And she'll post, yeah, I did this time. And people I hear react and they say, wow, that's fast. I don't know many that have it that naturally. We tease her that she's growing gills, and I think she's been that way since she was a kid.
My biggest fear is not doing well, having a bad day where I've trained really hard for this and wanting to show my story to the world and having a bad day where something goes terribly wrong, which it can happen in Ironman.
Midway through her strongest leg of the Ironman, Heather's putting her fears behind her, staying near the front and hoping that this will give her the advantage she needs to get to Kona. Ironman age group athlete Heather Jensen is in the water with just over 2,000 other athletes here in Santa Rosa, California. She's been pushing through the swim for a little over an hour, hoping to gain an advantage over other athletes.
I definitely am one of the faster swimmers, so I try to get up to the front, and there's always a few people that will start up there with you that maybe shouldn't be up there, maybe should be back a little bit. And so trying to get around them is almost impossible because there's arms, there's legs, there's everything in the way, and it's crazy. for me to be effective in an Ironman, I have to take that advantage and I have to get in the front and I have to make sure that my swim is strong because the other two disciplines, I don't get as much of an advantage as I do in the swim because I can swim decently fast and I can put up a really fast time, but if I go too fast, then my bike and my run are gonna suffer. So I need to find that balance where I'm comfortably fast in the water. I'm hoping at Santa Rosa that I can maybe swim a 105. I think a 105 would be really helpful for me.
Heather finishes the swim in a time of 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 33 seconds. She's 14th in her age group out of 76 athletes, but there are only 2 qualifying spots being offered for the World Championship in Kona.
When I see her smiling, grinning, coming into that transition or that turn, oh, I couldn't be prouder.
Transitions are nuts, they're chaos, because you're getting ready to ride 112 miles, you need to be prepared.
The Santa Rosa bike course starts with some technical hills and elevation changes, then rolls through California wine country before heading into town at Transition 2.
The bike is my weakest of the 3 sports for sure. I was a swimmer that learned how to run and the bike came later for me. So I definitely need to work on my bike, which I have done this year. I have put so much time into the bike and I know my legs are really strong. I know that I can bike 112 miles, but to do it fast, I really have to get in the zone mentally and I have to really tune out any negative thoughts. I'm concerned about making sure I'm doing everything correct and also just, I don't want to crash, I don't want to have a malfunction on my bike. I think that's the area that scares me the most in the tri is just hoping that my bike functions and I feel strong mentally and physically.
On the bike is, it's new to her. It's something that she's a little foreign with and she has the ability to grind it out. We hit a hill and she'll fly up that hill.
I have to be really fast on the bike and in years past that's not been my story, so I've definitely put time into my bike. However, that's the great thing about tri is everybody has one area that they're weakest in. Mine just happens to be the bike, and if I can do the 112 bike, I think anybody can.
Quest for Kona is presented by Cliff, the official sports nutrition partner of the Ironman North American Series. The rolling hills of Northern California's wine country are dotted with just over 2,000 athletes on the Ironman course here in Santa Rosa. Heather Jensen is closing in on the final meters of the 112-mile bike course.
Off the bike into transition 2, you're not quite sure where your legs are maybe. They kind of feel like they're not attached to your body. And it's jello leg or you've heard heavy legs. My legs felt like bricks. Those are all very true feelings and sayings. It feels just like that. And so as soon as you get out of transition 2 and you put your running shoes on, you kind of force your legs to just go. They've just biked 112 and swam 2.4. And you have to really mentally talk to your legs and say, you can do this, you can run. And you just slowly, one step in front of the other, just to get going. And once you do, you settle into that rhythm, the training kicks in. I'm like, yes, I get to run. I get really excited to run. So not the fastest runner, but I feel very strong on my run. I feel very confident on my run. And I actually get excited for that last part because I know that the end is coming and it's going to be amazing. I'm really hoping to run 4 hours or better. I've looked at the course and I think that's doable. My legs will definitely be tired, so I'm going to have to work really hard for it. And I think on the run, if I'm feeling good off the bike, I think I can push my run. I'm a decent runner, I'm a good marathoner, I know how to run a good marathon, and I think I can definitely push my run and see if I can catch some people and pull that finish a little bit faster out than I thought on the run.
10 miles, 10 miles, enjoy my marathon, 16 more,
Heather can run. Heather will be able to actually push it during the run. I think she'll have gas in the tank to, instead of just slowly creep to the finish, to accelerate to the finish.
Heather's pushing it on the run. Within her age group, she fell back to 29th place on the bike, but has been working her way back to the front on the marathon. She has climbed 6 spots and is currently in 23rd place.
I've definitely had a couple of bad races. I've only had one DNF my entire life. So I'm not a quitter. I definitely will not quit. If I have to crawl across that finish line, I will.
Heather continues to steadily move up the field, gaining 3 more spots to move into 20th place. But she's gonna have to run the race of a lifetime if she wants to grab that slot for Kona. And that's something her husband, Trevor, hopes to see.
For me to see her come across that finish, tear in her eye, saying, I did it, that to me is the achievement that I think we both share. She gets it, it's hers, she owns it, she's an Ironman, but I get to see her do it every time.
I don't think an Ironman finish compares with anything. I don't think you understand and comprehend what it feels like to do it until you've done it. It's like you've been given this card to this exclusive club. So it's this feeling of, I am special and I've done something amazing, and there's people that understand my crazy and they welcome me in gladly into this elite club.
As athletes continue to stream across the line, Heather doesn't let up her pace, and before long, she's in the chute, the finish clearly in sight. And now, it's just down to the clock. No matter the results, though, Heather has no regrets.
I would never stop doing Ironman just because I didn't make Kona. That'd be so silly.
34-year-old Heather Jensen, Victor, Utah, you are an Ironman.
Ironman is amazing. It's a way of life. It's something I love. And yeah, I'll keep going no matter what. But at Santa Rosa, I didn't make Kona. And it's difficult, it's hard to put that much training into it and not make it. But I know in my heart that I did the best that I could, and no matter what, I'm an Ironman, and nobody can take that away from me.